Hello everybody, welcome back to Planet X News, July 29th, 2018. Ladies and gentlemen, I wanted to share some photographs with you of the moon that I took this morning at approximately 6:30 a.m. Now, since we've been, over the last couple of days, everybody's been watching for the lunar eclipse. We've had this blood red moon and the full moon. So I've been taking daily photographs of the moon first thing in the morning, and today I captured something that just doesn't fit in. And this is the actual photograph, and this is only one in a series of 20 photographs that I took. Now, I captured something that just doesn't seem to fit the background on the moon. It's a complete 90-degree angle. I'll go ahead and zoom in, and we're going to be looking right around this area right here. And, you know, normally whenever I see these bright white spots that you see here on the moon, I usually zoom into them, you know, just for the hell of it. And this morning, whenever I started zooming into this one, as soon as I started getting close, I noticed it's a complete 90-degree angle. Now, that's kind of odd. Very odd. So I looked around just to make sure that, you know, it possibly wasn't what they refer to as a JPEG artifact, something that would be caused by pixelization in your photograph. But the photographs that I was taking are in high definition. And, you know, you can get pixelization in high definition photographs, but this just has me blown away. You know, as I look at it further, and I'm going to show you some more photographs that are just copies of this one. They're inverted, different color schemes, so we can try to define this a little bit more. So let's go ahead and just take a look at this photograph, and this is inverted. And, you know, if you were just looking at this photograph, you wouldn't even notice this little dot right here where my cursor is. But let's zoom in. And very rapidly, you see it is either some type of craft that was flying by, and I just happened to capture it, or it's an actual structure on the moon. Now, I'm kind of thinking more in the lines of some type of craft, because my tripod and my camera was set up in one position. It didn't move, and I took a series of photographs back to back, I think about 10 of them. And all of the other photographs, this object doesn't appear. So I'm thinking that this was possibly some type of craft, and it would have to be very, very large. Now, again, if you pan out all the way to the actual photograph, this would be the size of it. Now, I checked on the space station to make sure it wasn't the space station showing up in my photograph, and I checked out the precise time where it was when I took the photograph, and it's not the space station. So this is another filter that I applied to that specific photograph, and let's go ahead and zoom in, and you can see it's not pixelized because the pixels are right here. I mean, it's probably hard for you guys to see them. This photograph was upgraded to a 4K for the resolution, and you could see perfect 90-degree angle. I mean, if you put a ruler on that, that is absolutely perfect. I'm sure if we had an up-close, real photograph of what this object looked like, it'd be pretty interesting. No doubt about that. And once again, this is just another inverted photograph. And you could see it clear as day, 90-degree angle. There is no other objects like that anywhere around in the photographs. Pretty weird. This one is just a little bit of a different type of a filter. This should be a little more clear. And as you move into it, you can see. I mean, that object obviously doesn't or shouldn't be on the moon. Or it was flying by. It reminds me of one of the flying wing or the B-2 bomber that the United States government has within the Air Force. But what would it be doing up there? Well, impossibilities. Do I think that there are structures on the moon? Absolutely. This is a blown up version. I'll try to zoom in here as much as possible. And I mean, you can see it is a perfect 90-degree angle. Perfect. What could it be? Your guess is as good as mine, but I personally think that it is some type of a craft that was actually flying by. Because, like I stated, my camera was set up on a tripod. It was in a fixed position, and I was taking multiple pictures at the same time. And this craft, or whatever this object is, it only appeared in one frame. So it's pretty unusual. And what I want to show you guys here real quick, let me just go ahead and jump out of here. This is a picture that was taken from supposedly Google Earth. I just found this on the internet, and I'm going to show you guys a few things. It kind of resembles almost what I photographed, but this was considered to be a structure on the moon. Now, I'm going to zoom in a little bit more, and it's about the same, but this isn't really, I mean, there's a 90-degree angle here, but it's a little wider than what I captured. And there may be some distortion within my photograph. It was a little hazy outside this morning, and some of my photographs of the moon were a little distorted. But, matter of fact, we can go ahead and check those out real quick. And these are the actual photographs that I took this morning. And you can see, it was about 6:30 in the morning. The sun had already come up. And there was something kind of odd up here that was very bright. And this appeared in a few of the photographs. Let me just back out of here. And it kind of has the same shape almost. It's a little cut off up here. But again, it has that 90-degree shape. Folks, Lord only knows what's being done up on the moon. I mean, as far as our space program goes, I'm not too sure if human beings ever walked on the moon. Excuse me. But in today's space age, I'm sure that we have bases on the moon by now. This is the actual photograph that I showed you guys in the very beginning. And there was the object right there. And if you kind of pan back, and the moon is 238,000 miles away at its average point. So if I could visibly see this photograph using a 50 power zoom lens, then that's telling me that the object that was zipping by in the photograph, or I don't know, maybe landed on the moon, whatever it was quite large for us to see it with a 50 power zoom lens on a 35 millimeter zoom or 35 millimeter digital camera. It would have to be very big. Now, this was a photograph taken minutes before. Zooming into the same area, it's not there. So that's why I was thinking that it was possibly a craft flying by. As you can see up in this area, where we had that one bright spot, there is a little bit of a bright spot up there, but the actual structure, it's not there. A lot of weird things on the moon, folks. I try to take photographs every month whenever we have the full moon, And again, these are a little grainy because it was early in the morning and there was a little haze over the sky. But again, zooming into that area where I saw it, I could see something right here that might resemble it. But again, it's too grainy, too cloudy to really be sure. Now that one photograph was very, very clear. You can see there was a little bit of a haze and the pictures weren't coming out that good no matter what I tried, no matter what type of settings that I tried. But then, I kept looking up in this area. And you could see a couple little bright dots and some bright structure right here. It could possibly be, reflections of something on the surface of the moon. Who knows? The moon is still a big mystery to a lot of people and to a lot of scientists. And whatever this might be, it seems to be changing shape. I'm not thinking that that's a craft or anything like that, but who knows? Just going over these pictures that I actually snapped before spotting that 190-degree angle. And here's kind of a odd looking shape here. It was really, really bright. But again, the photographs that I took this morning, they were just a little too hazy. Sorry about the cell phone thing there. I forgot to shut the ringer off. But you can see there's something up here. There's something up here in this part of the moon. It would definitely be worth looking at through a pretty high-powered telescope. Wish I would have had something like that set up at that particular time. So I've been looking through these photographs for the last hour and seeing what I could spot. But, getting back to the original reason why I was making the video, pretty neat. Pretty neat to see something like that in your photograph, Perfect 90-degree angle. What could it possibly be? Could it be a structure on the moon? Or could it have been a craft zipping by? I guess we'll never know. The mysteries of the moon deepen. But what I wanted to show you is if you go to Google or any search engine and you type in structures on the moon, as you see I have highlighted right up here, structures on the moon, and this was the photograph that I showed you, a kind of triangular 90-degree angle, and you can see there have been a lot of photographs taken over the years of what people perceive to be as structures on the moon. Now, I can't verify any of these photographs because I had no part in taking them. But if you're interested in researching this, there is a lot of material in relation to structures on the moon. And this has been going on for many, 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 many years. I've watched a few documentaries on this by some credible individuals who are UFO hunters, and the evidence is kind of overwhelming. Take a look at this picture over here. Again, I can't verify any of these photographs, but again, they're very, very interesting. If you'd like to research structures on the moon, you can start by Googling it right here, structures on the moon, and you can check it out. I'm going to go ahead and post those photographs of what I captured this morning on our Planet X News Facebook page. So if any of you want to copy and download them and check them out for yourself, play around with them. If you come up with something, a little bit better, drop me an inbox message or an email. Let me know what you find. This is Scott from Planet X News. Thank you for watching.